All right, so today I'm going to talk about the Springball setup for the Two Cries Mother Brain Baby cutscene manipulation. The cutscene manipulation came out last week, and of course, as with any new tech like this, as it got into the hands of more runners, more people started messing around with it and looking for ways to optimize it, make it easier, etc. This setup originally came from Behemoth, and we tested it out, and it looks to have the biggest frame windows of any of the other setups that people have come up with. So before I actually jump into this, I just wanted to show the difference between the cutscenes so you can see why we're doing this manip. So on the left here we have the new manipulation, and on the right side we have good cutscene, which was previously best case scenario for how long the Mother Brain sit down cutscene would take. So as you can see, the left is quite a bit faster here. This is what we are focusing on using right now. So the practice ROM had a tool developed for it to give you feedback on how the manip went. So first things first, in the practice ROM you want to go down to Info HUD. You want to have Room Strat selected right here. And then under current strat, you want Two Cries to be selected. Moving into the actual manipulation here. So we have Mother Brain starting the cutscene right here. Of course, like usual, you want to make sure that you are not on the floor when the baby comes on screen, because if you are, the game will force you into a crouched state like this. You won't be able to move. So, in order to avoid that, you got to be airborne when the baby comes on screen, like this. And then the manip itself is pretty straightforward, but I'll break it down and we'll talk about each piece of that. So, the last thing I'll say here before we move into the specifics of how the manip works is after the baby gets onto Mother Brain, Mother Brain steps back and forth quickly, and there's this crying noise that happens. I think it's the baby making the noise, but it could be Mother Brain. The thing is, the noise continues after Mother Brain is dead and has lost all color, so that's the main reason I think it's the baby. But anyway, it's that noise. Basically, we are going to be doing manipulation starting around the 11th cry or so. So I'll show that, and then I'm going to record some clips and drag back and forth on how the manip works specifically. So I'll just count these here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay. After the 10th one, that's when you need to be getting ready to do your movement to manip the cutscene. So like I said, I'm going to record some clips, and then I'm going to play them back and use my mouse cursor to kind of point out, what I'm talking about, where I'm talking about it, etc. So, okay. So we have some examples of the manip here. First off, you're going to see I make a save state right here. So that's just for reference on how long into the cutscene. It's about 10 cries in that I'll make that save state. Now from here, after the 10th cry, you want to be looking at Mother Brain's head. This particular cue is actually it's one that I came up with, but I didn't share it because it wasn't working for me. And then Eddie suggested it, and it was working really well for him. And then I tried it again, and it was working well for me after that. So, just there's different cues that you can use, but the one in regards to Mother Brain's chin here, passing this pipe, is what I'm going to talk about today. So you can see Mother Brain's head is moving up, and then it will move back down. And from here, you need to make sure that Samus is crouched on the floor and holding an angle. That can be angle up or angle down, whatever is more comfortable for you. The reason this is important is because if you do a jump from a crouched position while holding an angle, it actually cripples Samus's jump and puts her in a lower jumping position. So that is important. So make sure that you are crouched and holding an angle when you jump. And then you want to jump as Mother Brain's chin is passing this pipe here. Okay. You can see this Y here in the top left. This is the Two Cries practice ROM tool. This is essentially saying, yes, Mother Brain is in the cutscene, and you should be getting ready for the manip. Depending on when Samus jumps, this is going to give feedback right here. So we jumped, we get a Y5. There are technically 7 frames that you can do this first jump on. A Y5 is this is going to sound weird. The Y5 is the 6th of the 7th frame. The reason for that is because the first frame technically is a worse setup. It has a smaller frame window for the next part of the manip. So that's considered YE or Y early by the practice ROM tool standard. So you want to be aiming for ideally Y3, 4, 5, or 6. Y1 or 2 will also work, but Y2 has some weird inconsistencies with its frame windows, and so you'll want to avoid Y2 if possible, which means really you should be focusing on jumping later rather than earlier for this first jump. So again, the jump should be happening as Mother Brain's chin is passing this pipe. You can see it's kind of on the bottom half of this top pipe here, and that was a Y5. That jumping on that frame was a Y5. Okay. All right. The next piece of this manipulation is that you want to aim Samus down while she is below Mother Brain's head. The reason this is important is because that's a hitbox change, and we are specifically trying to get Samus above Mother Brain's head for a specific set of frames, and then below Mother Brain's head for another specific set of frames. If you were to change hitbox above Mother Brain's head, that could theoretically adjust the frame windows. So just to be safe, try to aim down while you are below Mother Brain's head. Continue aiming down until you hit the ceiling. Okay. And then as you're dropping back down, again, once you are below Mother Brain's head, you want to morph, continue holding jump this whole time. That will buffer a Springball bounce, which will bounce Samus back up to the ceiling. And then this is the next important part of this manip. Okay, so after Samus starts descending from the ceiling, you want to unmorph. This is depending on what your initial jump Y value was. This can be anywhere from a 3-frame window to a 9-frame window. The 3-frame window being the first, the YE value. If you get a YE, that's only a 3-frame window. But if you get a Y6, that's actually a 9-frame window. Y3, 4, and 5 have, I think it's 6-frame windows. So that's still pretty forgiving. But the visual cue that I use for this is these 4 dots here in the background. When the bottom of Samus's morph ball is about to cross over this top dot here, that's when I am aiming to try and unmorph. Okay. So you can see that was a Y1. All right. So unmorphing right here, that was the earliest frame that it would work on Y5. Okay. So we unmorph, we drop to the floor, and then you can tell pretty much immediately if you got the manip, even if you're not using this tool, because Mother Brain's neck is going to kind of make a weird angle here. See that? She steps back, and then she sits down really fast. Okay. So here's another one. We got a Y4. Just go back here. So again, start from the crouch, angle, jump, as Mother Brain's chin is passing the pipe. So we got a Y4, aim down below Mother Brain's head, hit the ceiling, morph below Mother Brain's head, hold jump, that will buffer a Springball bounce, go up to the ceiling, and as we are descending down from the ceiling, unmorph when the bottom of Samus's morph ball is approaching these dots here. That was a Y3. Okay. Crouch position, angle, watch the head, jump as Mother Brain's chin passes the pipe. We got a Y4, aim down below the head. I know I'm repeating myself, but that's really what practice is. Bonk the ceiling while still aiming down, morph below Mother Brain's head, buffer a Springball bounce by holding jump, up to the ceiling, unmorph as Samus passes the dots. That was a Y4. We'll do this one in full speed. Y5, Y4. And I think it's just one more in full speed here. Okay. And that's all there is to it. So, I hope this has helped. There could potentially be even better setups. We haven't stopped looking into this, but as of right now, this is definitely good enough for the purposes of putting it into runs. So anyway, shout outs to everybody who has helped work on this. Again, that's Nobody Nada and Professor School helped me come up with the initial setup. Behemoth came up with the Springball idea. Well, technically Snick was the one who first suggested using Springball. Behemoth came up with the Springball setup after we shared the non-Springball setup. Who else? Plenty of people in the tasking community that showed that this really fast stand-up could happen in the first place. The list goes on and on. Thank you again to Eddie for the head cue as the chin passes the pipe. But yeah, I'm sure I'm missing people. But yeah, I appreciate everybody that has stepped in to make this happen, and I hope that this little tutorial has been beneficial, and I hope it helps you, whoever you are, start getting it in runs. So I guess I should mention this is applicable to any category that has high jump and Springball. So that can do stand up, of course. So it won't work in low percent and it won't work in any percent, but I have some ideas for those as well. If you, any percent doesn't currently use stand up, but anyway, I'm going on a rant here. I'm going to shut up. Basically, this particular setup is relevant for 100% and GT Classic and any other category that does stand up that has high jump and Springball. Okay, that's it. Thanks, everybody.